everyone. Happy 4th of July. And I'm all decked out in my 4th of July gear here. I got a little bracelet and, little earrings and a pin and a wrap and a headband and everything. And I like it. I think it's fantastic. And I think it's kind of funny and happy. And, you know, and it's going to bring at least a somewhat of a happy twist, I hope, to at least a visually happy twist to this rather serious video. And I have notes here, so please forgive me for constantly looking down at my notes. But I've been wanting to make this video for a very, very, very long time. And I'm glad that I'm finally sitting down and doing it. I am so glad. And let me roll up here. Let me roll up my old chair and take a seat back and relax. And so let's get into it. Let's get into it. So my whole life, which, for some people it might not be very long, for others it might be a very long time. My whole life, which has been at least 4 decades now, I have been, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, there's constantly around the 4th of July, and mainly the 4th of July, but any other holidays. But the 4th of July is a big one. TV, radio, magazines, any type and form of, information delivery or entertainment, they're constantly having advertisements and saying, let's honor those who served, let's honor our troops, let's honor those who were in the military. Begrudgingly now, and like pulling teeth, they will say, let's honor the women who served. Mostly they say, let's honor the men who served. Let's honor the men who served. Let's honor all of our military veterans. They don't even mention Air Force, Navy, and any of that. They just say military veterans. And very rarely, very begrudgingly, they'll say, let's honor the women and men who've served. But usually it's men and women who've served. And a lot of times they'll even cut off the women part of it in the edit, which I don't like. And, yes, freedom isn't free. And we need to honor those who have served. And we need to honor our protesters and those and our true warriors and our true fighters and those who have protested and fought and gained the rights that we have been enjoying so far. So let's honor our protesters. And this is not in any order. This is just a general list that I managed to quickly scrape together here. This is one of those videos that hits me first thing in the morning, and I always want to film it, and I never get around to filming it. And there's certain videos like this that thankfully I'm reminded of them over the decades, and thankfully now I'm finally sitting down and doing this one, and I'm doing it in the regalia that I want to do it in. So I'm quite glad for that. So let's honor and respect those true warriors, those true fighters, those protesters who fought for child labor laws and got them passed. Now, child labor laws are starting to be retracted. They're starting to be withdrawn. So we need to honor and respect and strengthen the child labor laws that were instituted. They were instituted for a reason. And we need to respect and honor and remember those who managed to get child labor laws passed. Along with that, we need to honor and respect and remember those who managed to pass laws and rules making it illegal to marry a 12-year-old and younger, to marry off children, marry off children in marriage, if you know what I mean. So we need to respect and praise and honor and remember those who, and I can guarantee you, fought hard to make sure that it is illegal to marry a child, that it's illegal to, have not clean dealings with children. They passed those laws, and I am grateful for that. And we really need to enforce those laws more strongly. So, and then there's so much more. There's we need to remember and respect and honor those who fought for workers' rights and unions, those who fought for, you know, a 5-day work week, those who fought for only having to work 8 hours a day. And they also fought for pay that was at least much higher than it is now. We need to respect and remember those who protested and those who fought and those true warriors who protested and fought legally and socially and otherwise for workers' rights and unions, and making sure that you didn't have to work more than 8 hours a day, making sure that you got paid what you were worth and whatnot like that. We need to honor and respect and praise those who got women the right to vote. Women's right to vote. That's a big one right there. Also, right alongside all the others. And it's constantly forgotten and swept under the rug. And I don't like that. And along with women's right to vote, there is also, I don't know how else to put it, but everybody, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, everyone who fought hard to make this country a non-apartheid country. Because that's literally what we had. We had an apartheid country. So we need to honor and respect and praise on this day, on the 4th of July, those who served our country by protesting and who fought for our country and the people. Your country is made out of the people who live in it and the people who exist in it. That is your country, and that is what makes up your country. So if your people do not have rights, what kind of a country is it? So those who fought for women's right to vote, those who fought during the civil, during the civil rights era. I mean, I know that there was a civil rights era for women's right to vote, and then there was another civil rights era for, literally the Black people in this country. Either way, we need to honor and respect those protesters, those people who spoke to the crowds, those people who got laws and rules passed, allowing, making it so that we didn't have second-class citizenry in this country. We no longer had apartheid, quite literally. So we need to respect and honor those true and real warriors and fighters in this country. We need to respect and honor those who fought in the Civil War during the 1860, the Civil War, those who fought to end slavery. Those are the true and real protesters, the true and real fighters and warriors in this country and for this country and for the people that make up this country. So, I mean, there's just so much more. You could say the more recent ones are those who fought and won for the right of women to have an abortion. Those people need to be praised, they need to be honored, they need to be respected, and statues need to be built to these people who fought for these rights, who fought for these laws, and who fought and managed to get women the right to have an abortion. And unfortunately, that is being taken away now. That has already been taken away, along with, they're retracting and withdrawing child labor laws in a lot of the states too. That's not good. That's not good at all. So child labor laws and abortion, they're being rolled away, and it shows that if you don't fight for it, freedom isn't free. The law, the laws that have been protecting us Had a burp there. The laws that have been protecting us are being rolled back, they're being wiped away, and it is not good. And freedom isn't free. And the true warriors, the true heroes, the true fighters are the protesters. Are the protesters like Martin Luther King Jr., are the, you know, soldiers of human rights, such as those who fought against slavery during the Civil War, are the soldiers who marched out on the streets during the 70s fighting against the Vietnam War. And this is another interesting thing. So during, in the 1970s, they managed to lower the voting age from 21 to 18, which is a very, very good thing. You could be sent off to war to be shot and killed, but you couldn't vote and decide on who was going to rule your life in your own country, and you could also be drafted. So you could be drafted, be sent to a foreign country to be shot and killed, but you still didn't have the right to decide in your own country who was going to be your president. That's a little bit nuts. And so people in the 70s, soldiers fought for the right to vote, just to vote at the age of 18. They were being drafted at the age of 18, but they couldn't vote at the age of 18. That's what these people in the 70s fought for. They always want to obscure it and make it look like something else, like, oh, they're hippies fighting against war and being a soldier. No, they were fighting for their human rights. And this goes right into the next thing that I was talking, that this is my second video. I hope I don't have to do another one. But this goes right into the next subject, which is a lot of those people that protested during the 70s, and this is continuing on now, they weren't able to get jobs because of their prison records. They were arrested. And by the way, this country likes to talk about freedom of speech and freedom of protest. But you know what happens when people protest? And I'm not trying to rile anybody up. And I'm going to put this in a different order than I did the last video. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, they were protesting. They got arrested for protesting. Everybody who fought during then got arrested for protesting. And I know this is going to rile people up, but this is the truth. Those who were protesting, for Trump and saying that Biden isn't my president, they were protesting and they got arrested for it. And even those right-wing protesters have a prison record now, and business will not hire them. Granted, it's true that those who protest for Black Lives Matter, they have a far less chance of getting a job than someone who protested for Trump. Someone who protested for Trump, they'll probably get a job. It'll probably be shitty, like Walmart or McDonald's. Granted, compared to the high-end paying job that they had before. But someone who protests for Black Lives Matter, they have no chance of getting a job. And that's the thing. The people who protested in the 70s, they got a prison record. When you protest, you get arrested for it, because this country doesn't like protesters. And when you have even just an arrest on your record, business will no longer hire you. And business likes to consider itself private, so they have the private right to choose who to hire and who not to hire. This needs to be recognized by every citizen in this country. If you have a jail record, an arrest record, a prison record, even if you have misdemeanors on your record, you can no longer get a job. You can no longer be hired even at McDonald's or Burger King or, just at Walmart. You can't get hired at Walmart. You can't get hired at Target. Doesn't matter. I'm trying to stop my accents from coming out. But yeah, you can't get hired at Target. You can't get hired at Target. You can't get hired at Walmart. You can't get hired anywhere. And it's not good. It is not good at all. So we need to respect and honor and praise these true warriors, these true fighters, and especially during the 70s, these true soldiers of human rights, of protesting, of freedom. These are true soldiers. Some of them, have never even worn a uniform of any kind. Navy, Air Force, because that's the other thing in all these things. Navy and the Air Force especially is always forgotten, never even recognized. And I'm sure that the Space Force that Trump just created is totally going to be completely not recognized ever, unless something happens, you know. But all they ever say is Army. All they ever mention is Army or military, meaning, far as I get, it's Army. So I don't like that. My dad is a Navy veteran. He was in the Navy, and yet Navy is never mentioned. You know, this house that was bought from someone who is still in the Air Force, you know. So, yeah, those the true heroes and the true warriors, the true heroes of this country are the ones who may have never worn a uniform of any kind, never even served in any of the armed forces of any kind, uh, are even more than likely, you know, not even male a lot of times, such as with women's right to vote. And this is another one very recently, and fighting for women's right to have an abortion, which now has been taken away. So we need to respect and honor these warriors, these true soldiers, these true defenders of freedom. And I know I'm using a lot of Republican wording and rhetoric here, but it's really the truth. Their wording, don't live in a glass house because someone might throw a rock at it. So, you know, but yeah, I am using the Republicans' wording, but it so applies to this so correctly and so well. And one last thing I am going to mention here, because it goes right along with all of this, they they are they are repealing child labor laws, which is not good. They've pretty much gotten rid of, completely wiped out unions and abort and workers' rights. The next thing that is to go is what we just recently got, and that is gay marriage. We got the right to marry and to uh, jointly adopt children, to jointly own a house, to jointly own property, to jointly own a business. We finally got that legal right federally. Sadly and terribly, there's a lot of businesses where, if I were to go and marry, I could quick and easy be fired. There's a lot of reasons why. I was bullied horrifically in elementary school, horrifically. And there's a reason why people on these kind of platforms will never use their real name. They'll never show their real address. And it's because you can be quickly and easily fired for putting up a video like this, or saying, I believe in aliens, or I had a ghost encounter. Aliens and a ghost encounter is not political. It's not religious. It's not, dividing. And yet you can get fired for that. It's absolutely insane. So, yeah, us gay people can be quick and easy fired. We can still be denied medical treatment because the doctor doesn't believe in caring for lesbians or caring for a child. And, a child of, like, say, a male gay couple. And most states do not allow gay couples, male or female, to adopt. They actually put into their state local laws, some of them, they even did it county by county and town by town. They will not recognize gay marriage, and they definitely will not allow gay couples to adopt in their state. And in order to cover their prejudice workings, they give them the runaround and they put every obstacle in their path to stop them from adopting. If I had the ability to, sorry, if I had the ability to, I would go and I would get married and I would adopt children. I would have my own house. I would have a wonderful wife, and I would adopt as many kids as I could, and I would encourage those kids to adopt. Just to get children out of that horrific, horrific system, just to save others. Just so yeah. I'm at the 20-minute mark here, so I know I'm gonna have to divide this up. I know I'm gonna have to divide this up. So freedom isn't free. Many people had to protest and fight loudly and hard in this country against the very laws, rules, and social mores of the time, and just to let us have the rights and freedoms that we enjoy now. These people were injured and even killed in this country, by the cops. There's a famous photo of a woman who is standing over the dead body of a fellow student because he was shot by the cops. This was in the 70s or possibly 60s. It's a black and white photo. And the students at this college campus decided to protest what was going on in the 70s, protest the Vietnam War, protest the fact that they weren't able to vote, even though they were being drafted, protest the draft, you know? And the cops, the on-campus cops, shot, they shot one of the kids that was protesting, one of the college students. And this woman is leaning over him and just, in shock. She's like, what the hell? So protesters are injured, a lot of them permanently, especially with the tear gas. They're made to go blind. They have cracked skulls from the quote rubber bullets. They're terribly injured. They're bleeding. They have criminal records because they protested. And they're not able to get jobs anymore because they protested. And so, yeah, freedom isn't free. And it doesn't matter if you are a rich white guy who's able to get a good lawyer and get off with a misdemeanor and, community service time. Just the fact that you have an arrest on your record means that you're not going to be able to go as high as you would have, and you're not going to be able to have the jobs that you would have had if you had not protested, literally. And that's for someone who has it really well off. So, yeah, freedom isn't free. So today, let's remember the protesters, the fighters who maybe never even wore uniforms, but fought hard and long and all the while being hated by even their own parents and family members, for fighting for what they were fighting for, such as the gay community and such as, the women who fought for the right to vote. So let's praise and remember and respect and honor the protesters and true warriors and fighters and soldiers who got us the rights and freedoms that we have now, and those in power who, because those in power are starting to take away those rights currently. So, yeah. I don't know if I'm even going to post this video, but at least I tried again. So, thank you. And if I post this video, more than likely to YouTube, because it's 23 minutes, 24 minutes long now. Happy 4th of July, and thanks for stopping by and listening. Now I'm going to film a TikTok one. Thanks. Bye.